Love has been the most recurring subject in Bollywood. Countless movies have been made where love is either a central theme or a part of their narrative. Over the years, these narratives seem to have shaped our understanding of love. But unfortunately, they have also ruined love for our generation. The way we love today, to an extent, is a result of misguided ideas propagated through these movies. First of which is the idea of the soulmate, the person that when we find, our soul will fuse with theirs. We will break free from the shackles of loneliness and embrace an eternal friend and lover who is meant only for us. Countless Bollywood romantic films set their premise around the central idea of the one, the soulmate, a perfect human being that is made for you and you alone. This notion leads to the troubling idea of self-righteousness. Romantic films completely negate the fact that at the very core of our nature, all of us are deeply flawed and imperfect. Bollywood tricks us into believing that we all are easy to live with. But trust me, we are not. We all are crazy. The idea of the one is delusional. This quest of finding the one means our characters will have to travel a lot, and they love traveling. So naturally, a lot of couples meet while they are on road or visiting their future partner's hometown. The reason they can devote an awful lot of time in travels is because none of the romantics have jobs or any sort of responsibilities. They don't have to study for higher education or work for a better paycheck or pay off their bank loans or strive to fulfill personal ambitions. All of those real life issues that you and I have to face. As per romantic films, finding love is more important than personal ambitions or responsibilities. And when you do find that person, how do you fall in love? Well, according to Bollywood, you fall in love through instincts. These instincts are based on a special feeling that can only be evoked by that special person.
कुछ तो था हम दोनों के बीच. Something very special.
You can be busy talking to your friend, but you'll bump into that person, your eyes will meet theirs, and you will experience what alcoholics refer as love at first sight. According to Bollywood, it is not love if you have to put any thoughts or reasons into it.
लेकिन प्यार फैसले से नहीं किया जाता, बस हो जाता है.
Now something very interesting happens in romantic films that I have never experienced in my real life. People expect their loved ones to know what is going on in each other's mind. They don't feel the need to express it out loud. They should just know.
मेरी आंखों में देखो नंदिनी. Oh my God. जो प्यार मुझे तुम्हारी आंखों में दिखाई देता था, आज वो प्यार नहीं है.
Bollywood discourages expressing feelings through words. We then also expect our partner to understand us intuitively, which of course ends in failure. And it leads to the inevitable outbreak of sulking. And sulking, according to romantics, is a sign that you and your love life is doomed. Quite an absurd idea because none of us is a bloody mind reader, unless your lover is Professor X. But you can make up for all of that through a grand romantic gesture that will win your partner over, at least in the movies. In real life, that leads to public embarrassment. Now, whatever I have said so far isn't exclusive to Bollywood films. Hollywood has also employed the same ideas to structure their love stories. The roots of these ideas stem from the philosophy of Romanticism, developed in Western Europe during 18th century. All of the already mentioned ideas are discussed in Romanticism, plus there are more. Romanticism speaks strongly about marriage and the role of sex in a love relationship. However, Bollywood presented these notions with its own twist. Bollywood has elevated marriage to a level that it has become the ultimate expression of love. That's why a lot of romantic films end when two lovers either get together or get married. Marriage is supposed to be the crowning jewel of love. So marrying a person you do not already love romantically or the person chosen by your family, even if there's nothing wrong with the person, is a disaster. Marriage can be beautiful and successful only if you love the person beforehand. So what if there's nothing common between the two of you and your love is solely based on infatuation? You will end up happily ever after. Another false dream propagated by Bollywood that assumes that the rest of their life will have no problems at all. They will never be jealous of each other's success or disagree on any of the decisions. They will never be attracted to another person and sex will always be fulfilling. Speaking of sex, Bollywood has presented a very distorted notion of sex. It is an important aspect of romanticism which Bollywood conveniently shy away from. In romanticism, sex is the ultimate expression of love. But in our movies, that honor goes to marriage. So keeping the Indian sensibilities in mind, sex became a literal parameter to judge a woman's purity and sanctity.
तू इतने दिन उसके साथ घूमी फिरी, क्या कुछ ऐसा कुछ नहीं मम्मी, कुछ नहीं, तो फिर प्रॉब्लम क्या है?
A woman's sexuality is presented in such a manner that it no longer remains her personal and private affair. it in fact becomes a matter of pride and honor of her entire family and community.
किस हद तक पहुंचा है तुम्हारा रिश्ता? क्या तुम वो तो नहीं कर बैठी जिससे हमें शर्मिंदा होना पड़े? बोलो नंदिनी, नंदिनी बोलो, क्या उसने तुम्हें कहीं छुआ है?
And it is important that our hero protects this pride in every way possible.
मैं एक हिंदुस्तानी हूँ और मैं जानता हूँ कि एक हिंदुस्तानी लड़की की इज्जत क्या होती है.
Now, such misrepresentation is only a part of a larger issue, the issue of predefined gender tropes. Romantic films are mostly about a man falling in love with a woman. Rarely you'll get a movie about a girl falling in love with a guy and trying to win him over. And there's a familiar pattern to these movies. At first, the girl refuses the guy, then the guy tries harder and eventually wins her love over. This narrative assumes that if the girl first says no, it just means that the guy has to try harder and a no will eventually turn into a yes. Bollywood also validates the creepy and stalking nature of guys. In fact, those guys are portrayed as the quintessential romantics. Bollywood also promotes the idea that love sometimes can be violent, and it is okay if your boyfriend screams or abuses you once in a while. He does it only because he truly loves you, not because he is borderline crazy.
Tina, listen to me. Hey! क्या है?
प्यार से देने रख लो वरना थप्पड़ मार के भी दे सकते हैं.
The adverse effects of these careless portrayal are there to be seen in real world. However, stalking, abusive behavior and rude pranks are okay as long as the guy is handsome or rich, or both. It's cute if Raj does this. If I do the same, I'll be in jail. And isn't it weird that almost all of Bollywood romantic movies are about good-looking people falling in love with each other? It also seems like there are different parameters for guys and girls in our movies. The harder the handsome guy tries, the more romantic he becomes. If the girl tries the same, she is at the very least an eccentric, or at the most, a crazy vamp. If the guy gets the girl, it means he won her love. If the girl gets the guy, it means he accepted her love.
शुक्रिया 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 मेरे पिया जितने सोए ख्वाब थे सबको जगा दिया.
And it is an accepted fact that for a girl to make a guy fall for her, she has to change herself to meet his criteria of a perfect girl.
खुले बाल ज्यादा अच्छे लगते हैं.
तुम्हारे बाल
What?
खुले ही अच्छे लगते हैं.
Over the last 100 years, cinema has become a big part of our culture. So it would be foolish to say these romantic films haven't influenced the way we approach love. Be it subconsciously, we judge our potential partners through the lens of these superficial and sometimes psychotic narratives. And that's why we have to question our romantic view of love. Not to destroy love, but to save love. We have to save ourselves from this popular romantic idea of true love. Because whether we like it or not, the idea of true love is delusional. It only inflates our ego and a sense of self-righteousness. But that doesn't mean love is overrated. What is overrated is our ability and capacity to love.
इसीलिए ज्यादातर रिलेशनशिप में लॉन्डो का ओवर कमिट अंडर डिलीवर रहता है कि बातें करनी तो आ गई है, निभाना आता ही नहीं है.
So instead of turning to these romantic films, it would be better if we look at the ancient Greek vision of love, which is invested in mutual admiration for what is virtuous and accomplished in another person. It involves a quest of educating one another to become better versions of themselves. Because love can't just be about what you feel. It is ultimately a skill that needs time and patience to nurture. And if you think you're not getting any better at it, then don't worry. No one else is either.